Hello there, Virgos. Welcome to your mid-April 2017 tarot reading. So I have a few scattered messages for you. The first message that I'm feeling here is in the past, okay? Let's say in the past. Someone was telling you, they might have told you you lacked imagination, or they might have told you like, you never do fun things. And I feel like your response was that you're not offended. I don't feel you were offended. But I feel like you were a little bit hurt because you did care about this person and they said like, oh, you're not fun, or, you lacked imagination, or you lacked spontaneity. And so they were out of your life. And I feel like you might have recently heard about them, like being a little bit too fun, being a little bit too spontaneous, and being a little bit too carefree. So they got themselves in trouble. And I feel like, you're not gloating upon seeing this. You're actually kind of worried. So I feel that coming through for you guys for the next 2 weeks, like hearing about somebody that might have, done that, and then they're getting themselves in trouble by being a little bit too easy breezy and carefree. The second message I'm getting here is you're dealing with somebody who's very indecisive and they really frustrate you. I feel like their brain is a little bit scattered. They're all over the place. They're working on multiple projects at once. I'm reminded of somebody, like it's just somebody who's very scattered, and I feel like for some of you it might be an air sign. So this is an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, and I'm getting very strong Libra, very strong Gemini. And I'm also sensing very, very strong Capricorn as well, which is normally not the case, but I feel like in this reading it might be. So you're dealing with somebody who is like doing a million things at once, and they're kind of like expending their energies, working on multiple things and never finishing anything. And when you ask them, like, let's do this, let's do that, they take forever to make up their mind. And I feel like it's really frustrating you. And so the important thing to keep in mind is that this person responds very well to authority. This person takes direction very well. So if you tell them, do A, B, and C, they're going to get their task done very, very fast, and they're very efficient. But when left to their own devices, they might not know how to start. Okay, so they're a little bit more of a taskmaster rather than an initiator. Okay, so we can't be all of us, we can't be all of the same type. So I feel like you might be a little bit more type A. You make checklists, you get things done, you start projects and things like that. But I feel the other person works really well when they're working under the mandates of somebody else. Okay, so just something to keep in mind and be a little bit more understanding, I guess, because I feel like you're kind of frustrated with this person. And so when they're confronted with, decisions where they have to make decisions on their own, where they have to, it feels to me almost like they're looking at all the choices in front of them. Everything looks good. And so they don't want to deal with, if I choose this, I lose that. They don't want to deal with opportunity costs. And at the same time, they're a little bit like their energy is so scattered that they see the potential in everything. So they're innately very optimistic. They see the good in everything. And so when they're put on the spot, they're not going to be able to select one thing and, endure the opportunity cost or risk making the wrong choice. And so you want to be a little bit more understanding when dealing with this person, okay? So don't put them on the spot. Give them some time to mull it over. Let them go home, make their pros and cons list, and then they'll get back to you. So I feel like, if you're giving them this decision and it's not life or death and it's not, like time sensitive, give them a deadline and tell them, okay, I need your decision by this date, and give them some time to at least, mull it over, okay? What I'm also feeling as well is for a lot of you, they're saying there's a lot of appreciation coming through from children. So I don't know if it's children you're working with or your own children or other people's children that you're teaching, or in whatever capacity. They're saying a lot of acceptance, a lot of healing, a lot of just good energy coming through children. Watching the way that they behave, watching their creativity kind of flow from out of them. Seeing how carefree they are, and seeing how, once they make mistakes, they brush it off and they start over. So learning not to be so harsh on other people, learning not to be so harsh on yourself, learning not to judge yourself too harshly. I feel like that's going to be a major lesson coming through when you have to deal with children. So I feel like some of you are learning this now, where you're taking a step back and you're letting your children make mistakes and giving them the opportunities to self-correct, okay, to like correct it themselves rather than intervening, which I feel is really good. I do see this energy here about, work is going to be a little bit of a slower pace for the next 2 weeks. I feel things really pick up in the summertime, like getting really busy. And so get all the snooze you can in now, that catching up on sleep, getting all the recreational activities that you want to get in. So April, May, I feel like June, July, August will be quite busy for you. So, whatever you want to do, taking that short trip, recreational activities, try to squeeze it in now, because I feel like work is relatively slow for many of you. For others of you, let me just get this message first of all. I almost feel like an enabling type of a behavior between you and another person. And I feel like this message is going to apply to only a few of you. And I feel like the other person is doing something, either, like they're saying like addiction. So either drugs, alcohol, smoking, drinking, whatever the situation is when it pertains to a vice, especially addiction. I feel like you're trying to, it seems to me like you're not speaking out about it. And in a way, this person is really close to you, and they might take what you say to heart, and they might really consider what you say. But for whatever reason, you're keeping quiet about it. Maybe because you don't want them to feel like you're criticizing them. So maybe that might be something taken to the extreme, where you don't feel, you don't want them to shut you out, so you don't want to say anything. But I feel like this person respects you a lot, and your words actually means a lot to them. So if this is somebody that you really care about, say your piece, okay? Rather than keeping quiet, I feel like it's really important for you to say your piece and be done with it, and then let them choose their course of action, because I feel like they really respect you enough where your words really can turn a situation around for them, can allow them to see the light, because this person is not able to see it themselves, okay? So maybe cutting through that fog for them might be good for you, okay? So, and don't worry that they fear you're judging them or, criticizing them. I feel like they respect your judgment. So I do sense a lot of heartfelt conversations that need to be had about another person when it pertains to their behavior, okay? And I feel like taking a step back with children, observing them especially, you can learn a lot about how to properly be spontaneous, be carefree, but also be responsible, okay? So like operating within a familiar framework, I feel like that's something you're going to be learning. So major lessons coming through children, major lesson coming through when it comes to like standing in your own truth, and also knowing, trusting that you've done the right thing, okay? So I do think it's going to be a very dynamic 2 weeks for the rest of you. And I do sense as well, there's a lot of new energies coming through, but I feel overall, you're not going to be too busy. So, take those trips, take those weekend getaways if you can, because the time is actually very good for short trips. Okay. So take care of yourself, Virgos. I'll be back in the May reading. Bye-bye.